The odds are out for the Toronto Raptors' season-long win total, and it currently sits at 37.5 wins. So, is it too low? Is it too high? Are Oddsmakers wrong about it? Let's get into it. This is Amateur Sports, and it is a YouTube channel where I give you Toronto Raptors content in videos just like this, and sometimes live streams as well on the channel, particularly during the season for our watch-alongs. If you enjoyed what you see from today's video, make sure you do hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like it. Now, we're going to be investigating what the line has been set for the Raptors in their season-long win total for this season, and it's currently sitting right now at 37.5. Now, disclaimer to preface this, I'm currently recording this video on July 23rd, 2025. Odds are very fluid. Odds are bound to change. And by the time this video comes out, I imagine it will be a little bit different. Now, when it comes to, these odds, it's opened, it's moved a little bit. We're at 37.5 wins right now. I don't imagine we'll see any drastic shift unless there is a big trade that happens in between. So just keep it in mind over the course of the video. I'm dealing with the information that I have on the day I'm recording, July 23rd. But again, I don't see a huge change on the way. We're pretty much in the mid to high 30s when it comes to the season-long win totals. And I think that a lot of people watching right now will be thinking, that's too low. That is too low for this Toronto Raptors team. And you may think this is too low. When this opened up, the Raptors were at 34.5 wins. It's been bet up, meaning that there has been respected bettors who have placed enough bets at high enough amounts of money that sportsbooks have moved this line up to 37.5 from where it was originally at 34.5. So there is at least a little bit of respect for the Raptors and a little bit of more respect for this Raptors roster for where this is going to be situated. Now, when I first initially looked at what the season-long win total line was for the Raptors, I was live on a stream, and I thought that we would see them get in around 38.5. So I was quite surprised when I saw them down at 34.5. But we did learn something about the way oddsmakers feel and how sports bettors feel when it comes to this line. And this is the lesson that we got. I don't know if it's a lack of respect for this Raptors roster, because I think this roster is fully capable of winning at least 38 games. That's what I think. I think that this team should win at least 38 games this season. What this line tells us is that there is not enough confidence in this Raptors team to be good enough to completely alleviate and negate the possibility of a tank actually happening. This line, to me, especially where it started, just seemed to be in the middle of, okay, is this Raptors team going to be serious? Is this Raptors team going to try and be good over the course of the entire season? Or is this going to be a Raptors team, once again, that puts on, what is probably going to be a win pace that would match what would be around 38 wins when it comes to the trade deadline and where those decisions have to be made in regards to, are the Raptors going to keep trying to win? Are the Raptors going to try and take? I imagine they'll be on some sort of a trajectory where they'll be on pace to win 38 games, and then there will have to be a decision that needs to be made by the front office. Will this team tank? Will this team continue to push forward? If they're in and around, and I don't know if I've said this, I've said this, I don't know if it's a video you've seen yet or not, but I'll say it again. I don't think the front office is afraid of taking a step back once again this season if they feel like they're not going to be making a true push in the playoffs. If they're sitting in and around the play-in tournament positions once again, they may feel like, yeah, pushing for a better draft pick might be better than just scraping into the play-in tournament. And we may have another year where there's going to be the back and forth debates from Raptors fans of, whoa, is it better to make the play-in tournament and get that experience and maybe get into the playoffs and probably lose first round, but, get that valuable playoff experience? Try and instill that winning culture within the team over the course of the season? Or is it more worth it to look at the draft, see what sort of players you can get, maximize the amount of talent you're bringing in the draft on a year-to-year basis? So it does give us a lesson here that we're still kind of locked into this middling territory where this Raptors team likely isn't good enough to be a true threat in the playoffs, but it also is too good to really maximize its draft pick on a year-to-year basis. So is this line wrong? Are odds makers wrong about the Raptors here? I don't think so. I think where this currently sits is just in that middling territory where it's kind of just, I feel like the Raptors, if they want to win, could like really surpass this number. I guess 34.5, I thought like over 34.5 is a good bet. But I mean, where you really get maybe some value out of this one is taking some alternate numbers where you're going for the 40 plus wins, like maybe even taking a little stab at 45 plus wins. Because if the Raptors are intent on winning as many games as possible over the course of the season, they are going to crush this, it would kind of seem. The 34.5, that is, because if they're intent on winning, they should win at least 40 games. The reason the line sits where it is like, well, the Raptors may consider tanking. So you could go in the other direction now and think like, well, I could play like an under 32.5, because if they're tanking, they're going to try and stay around 30 wins or less. So that's how I kind of gauge this. I think there is a very wide range of outcomes for the Raptors this season, and it all depends on how they start the season, where they're situated at the trade deadline, and how aggressive Bobby Webster wants to be with pushing for the playoffs or pushing for a better draft pick. And it remains a little bit more of a mystery this season still, because we don't really know Bobby Webster's management style when he is the head. Like, obviously, he's worked in conjunction with Masai Ujiri. We have a bit of a better understanding as of now as to what Masai Ujiri might do in that position, but we don't really know the tendencies associated with Bobby Webster as of yet. So it will be interesting to see what his mindset will be and where the Raptors are. Overall, not giving any betting advice here. I think this line has like been pretty shaped pretty well. I wouldn't play anything necessarily on the 37.5 at this point. I would lean towards betting something for the over, but I can't really do that knowing that there was the 34.5 previously. That's where there was really, I think, some value in playing the Raptors over. Obviously, it's moved 3 complete wins. So again, we've learned that there is enough confidence to say that this team is starting to get to more likely to be in playoff contention and get into a playoff spot. But again, this line is just set in a way where there's some coverage if the Raptors do decide to tank. To make my prediction, again, I think they will go over this win amount. I think they will win at least 38 games. If the Raptors have a good start to the season, and I think they will. Look, I think they have a solid team. I think there's a lot of offensive punch. I think there's some decent players coming off the bench. I don't think it's going to be like this insane bench, but I think it's like one of the stronger benches the Raptors have had in recent years. That is absolutely not saying much because there's been some pretty poor benches for the Raptors in the last years, but I think it's the best bench we've had in quite some time. It'll supplement the starters better than it has in recent years. And the starters, like, there are good players here. Like, Emmanuel Quigley can give you 18 and 8. RJ Barrett can give you 21 points per game. Scotty Barnes can give you 20 points per game, 9 rebounds, 5-6 assists. Brandon Ingram can give you 20 plus points per game. I think if he has a good year, he could be an all-star this year. Pirtle can give you like 14 points, 10 rebounds per game. Like, this is a really talented starting 5 with decent players coming off the bench to integrate within the system. There is a lot of cohesion already with Quickly there, with Barrett there, Barnes there, Pirtle there, guys who have played together for quite some time now, players who have been here off the bench. Like, and I mean, the defensive culture that's kind of being instilled as well. We saw it in Summer League. We saw it at the end of last season. Raptors had a great defense at the end of the season. A lot of that was playing against bad tanking teams, but it should still be a Raptors defense that gets them back into top 10 categories on defense. If they are a top 10 defense, they only really have to be an average NBA offense or close to it. And that's probably going to be a team that's vying for some playoff positioning. If they can be a top 10 defense, which I think is they're fully capable of doing, and an above average offense, which they should be able to do. They might be able to do that. This should be a playoff team. And I think for this season going into it, as much as I said tanking is a possibility, it'd be something I'd be upset to see because I feel like if the Raptors are in a position where they think tanking is the right course of action, they haven't won as many games as they probably should have at that point in the season. There are good players here. It is a talented group of players. It is a talented team. This should be a team that's in the playoffs. That should be a team that gets there. It should be a team that is striving to be a top 6 seed, at least in the Eastern Conference, and avoid the playoffs altogether. And even in a depleted Eastern Conference, unfortunately, I can't say with confidence that that is going to be the case for the Raptors. So again, 37.5. I could see it going a bit higher. I can't really see it going lower with the current roster in place. I could see it creeping up to 38.5. But I feel like we're at a good spot here at 37.5. Again, my prediction is they're going to go over this win amount. And my prediction is they're going to get into the playoffs, but it will probably be through the play-in tournament. What do you think?